Alrighty then. Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 1018. Character motivations. I'm actually talking secondary character motivations here. Every character is motivated by something. You can't have a character that's so plastic, that's so artificial that they add nothing to the story. Then why are you putting them in there? Give them something. And I suggest just a single one-liner for each character that might have a speaking role, that might have something else that applies to how they interact with your story, maybe interact with your main characters. The simpler it is, the easier it will be for you to then apply that motivation on those interactions. And I'm usually talking multiple interactions here too, even for secondary characters, not just a character that pops in, delivers a message to the captain, bolts off. Now, you don't need a motivation for that. They're just doing their job. But if you're going to bring that character to life a second time or a third time, then you need to do something else. So what if their motivation is something as simple as wants to get promoted, even to the exclusion of everything else? Okay, great. That's their motivation. So each time you'll be able to add more depth to the interaction with your main characters because wants to get promoted. So they're looking to stand head and shoulders above, to excel, to look like they're excelling, whatever it might be. But that one single sentence for that character, that's all you need. And then you'll be able to give them plenty of depth without, oh, they're from a poor shanty town on the other side of the tracks. Nah, don't be crazy. You save that stuff for your main characters. How about something as simple as doesn't trust men in leadership positions? Okay, so you have men and women, and how that character that interacts with the women will be different how they interact with the men. And it will add significant depth to your story. Something as simple as that for their character motivations. But that one sentence, and then you don't have to go into, well, I had 3 brothers that beat her up. Nah. Don't have to go into any of that. Just doesn't trust men. Good. Then put that in there and work it in, and it will be very relatable. Raised to believe in a fair day's wages for a fair day's pay. Okay. Puts them in a certain light, and their interactions then with your characters, or interactions with the backbone of the plot, will then go to that. And this is characters that pop up every now and then. And your readers will love that. They will love those motivations for those characters. And you don't have to say that motivation. That's for you. And then you work that in and how they interact. It helps with your dialogue. It will help with their looks. Looks as in how they look at things, how they perceive things, how others perceive them, especially if they're pretty open about their motivations, even if they try to keep them secret. So pick something. A one-liner for a character who might appear more than once. So don't go into such depth with all your characters. Don't George Martin it, where you've got 2,000 characters and now you've lost track and can no longer write future books because they're far too complicated. You're not the owner of every character in that world. That's extremely challenging for an author. Extremely. I can't even emphasize how hard it is for an author to keep track of so many characters with complex motivations. It makes the world a significant challenge. So pick something for a single time, whatever that character needs to move the plot forward. You can give them depth, but it still has to go to your main plot and move those characters marching along your main plot. It still has to go support that, no matter what those characters' motivations. Unless they're the villain, unless they're the antagonist, and the henchmen of the antagonist, then they might work at odds with your main character's motivations and main character's plot, because hey, there's friction here, there's upsets, there's roadblocks. Oh, there's Stanley. He's trying to get comfortable. It's cold in here. It's like 62 degrees, so I made a little nest for him back there, but he's probably cold. All right. So secondary characters. What are their motivations? Make it simple, and then that will add consistency plus depth. You're going to enjoy your stories. Your readers will enjoy your stories more when they perceive the complexity of what's going on. All right. Peace, fellow humans.